Hey Seahawks, thank you so much for joining our first online assembly. I apologize for the technical issues. We did 2 stress tests and there was a setting issue either within our Zoom or YouTube live link with our Chromebooks. So the district's investigating it. We are the very first school to try an online assembly, which I think that's so cool. And you know what? Sometimes we have to try and we're going to fail, and not everyone saw the presentation, and I'm so sorry about the frustration. We are sending your teachers the YouTube live link so you can watch it. I think it's a very valuable presentation. It's going to also be inside our Canvas page on the splash pad as well as in Parent Square. So we had a Q&A at the end, and there were so many amazing questions, and I wanted to address some more of them, even though Ori is not physically with us. So someone asked, can trafficking just be sexual? Actually, there's lots of different type of trafficking here. As you see, labor, child trafficking, child soldiers, organ and sex trafficking. We only really focus on sex trafficking today. So how do I help someone that's being trafficked or abused? Number one, tell them that thank you for allowing me to trust you, to tell you, as well as I believe you. Tell a trusted adult if possible. If they don't, try to make a safety plan and go outside of school. You can also, if you can, you can report it on the anonymous text tip line so you don't feel like you're ratting the person out. You can report a tip here. It's really important that you report it because you can save their life. You can also call or text a human trafficking hotline. So when do you think it's okay to meet with a person online? Number one, always get consent from a trusted adult or guardian, your parents. Let them know where you're going, who you're meeting for the first time, maybe even bring a friend. Go to a public place. But again, sometimes we might think we're building a relationship with someone online and it could be someone fake. So we have to be really, really cautious. And again, public places are always safer. Consent from a trusted adult and guardian that love you in your life. Bring a trusted friend with you or have them like on speed dial and in the same vicinity as you in a public place. Like Starbucks would be a perfect place to meet someone. So do you think human trafficking has gotten better or worse over the years? It depends what state and city we're looking at. The pandemic, unfortunately, more people are vulnerable due to labor and sex trafficking because they have lost their jobs. I did some research for you, and unfortunately, due to COVID-19 worldwide, human trafficking is definitely on the rise. In California, we actually passed some amazing state laws that actually saved my friend Ori's life from being trafficked the rest of her life. And so in 2017, SB 1322 basically erased the police records of like her arrests from prostitution. And she was a child. She was also a minor. And so we have clear definition of child trafficking in California. We use the term commercial sexual exploitation of children. Anyone under 18, regardless of force or no force, coercion or fraud, anyone under 18 that is caught up in the life of sex trafficking will not go to jail anymore as of January 2017. And so they're going to be put in social services. They're going to put in the system. They're going to hopefully get rehabilitated and given the skills to rebuild their lives, and they're not going to get arrests. So my friend Ori that you saw on Thursday, she actually wanted to get a job at Buffalo Wild Wings, but they wouldn't hire her because she had so many arrests on her record. And so thank goodness to SB 1322, they're able to drop all those charges and she has a clean record. So she was able to go to college and get a job. And so what factors influence human trafficking? It's really, really complex. State and federal laws definitely impact making stricter laws and policies that lock up traffickers as well as people who buy sex. Also, economic factors. When the economy is good and everyone has a job, they wouldn't have to turn to sex trafficking, things like that. Education of everybody. Yell it from the rooftops. Yell it, share it with your parents, your friends, your little sisters, your brothers, obviously age appropriate, but your little 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade brother and sister, cousin, all your friends need to know about this stuff, because that is the time that traffickers are looking to get vulnerable victims, okay? And then teaching young kids about healthy relationships is so essential. Some other things, education of social workers, education of healthcare workers that are on the front lines that see young kids coming into the ER. So many of you have shared with me in the class, you want to be a healthcare worker, identifying children who have been abused and hopefully intervening when they come into the hospital with, physical signs of abuse or emotional signs of abuse. So this is a great question. It just tugged at my heart. Where's the best place to find love and acceptance? You start to build your goals and your dreams. And if you have suffered from trauma, which all of us this year have, and some of you so much more than others, please get counseling. Check in with our wellness counselor, go to your own private counselor, get help, love you, build your goals and your dreams. And when you're ready for any type of relationship or not, make sure that your relationships that you find and surround yourself are loving and supportive and communicative and respectful. And remember, your superpower is going to be setting boundaries with people, how they should treat you. So what are the steps we can take on a smaller, larger scale to prevent trafficking? So education, like I said, advocating for strict laws that put traffickers in jail, that put Johns who buy or people who buy in jail. Laws like SB 1322 that do not lock up young kids, changing our language about instead of saying hooker or prostitute. Every time I drive down Beach Boulevard, every single day, my mind sees people that have been abuse victims. These people need skills. These people need to be uplifted and taken off the street and given a new life. And thank goodness to a lot of churches in our area and faith-based organizations, they're doing amazing work, as well as Strike Out Slavery, Angels Baseball, Major League Baseball, Albert Pujols, DJ Pujols have done an amazing job the last few years talking about human trafficking. And like I said, these people are not prostitutes or hookers. They are rape victims. They are child abuse victims. So let's change our language. Some warning signs in the classroom. Chronic absenteeism, signs of emotional, physical abuse, might have an older boyfriend or partner, runaway, maybe lacks any type of identification or doesn't even have a purse or ID or money, talks about maybe sexual situations that are way beyond their age, appropriate level, physical abuse like bruising, strange tattoos. My friend Ori had a tattoo on her neck that was forced on her by her trafficker that basically said their name. And thank you to a faith-based organization, they removed her tattoos so she can go around in public and not have to cover it with makeup every day. Sometimes inappropriate dress or attached to your cell phone or having multiple cell phones, that's a huge warning sign. Change in possessions. Maybe your friend didn't have a whole lot of things and now they have all these new items and you're like, where'd you get that? A reputation, and someone who doesn't want to speak to any school officials. So who's at risk? You, because of your age. Some other risk factors, Again, just because you have risk factors does not mean you're going to be trafficked, but these are risk factors: sexual abuse, poverty, low self-esteem, homelessness, dysfunction, family dysfunction, foster youth, very young and vulnerable, or LGBT individuals. So be careful. So a lot of kids are still asking, like, how do you get in the life? Poverty, drugs, kidnapping, forced coercion, like, big one, modeling, YouTube stars, dancing, all that, recruitment, internet, chat rooms. So just to recap, human trafficking and unhealthy relationships is all about power and control. Here are some warning signs. And I have all the slides for you to share with your teacher. Thank you so much for listening and for all the beautiful, wonderful, inspiring comments that you have left Ori. I shared them with her, and thank you so much. We're going to continue what we can do in our community to make it a safer place.